Sharp Tongue Podcast. Beep, 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 beep. You're listening to the Sharp Tongue Podcast. I'm your host, Jessimae Peluso. It's a personal look. Well, it's not really a look because it's a podcast. I'm already fucking this up. This is kind of like a verbal comedy diary, a deep look into the crevices of my mind. It's gonna get dirty. You might cry. You'll probably laugh. Hopefully you'll laugh. The whole point is for you to laugh, but you also might cry. I talk about my family. I talk about farts. I talk about love, loss, comedy, how hard it is to make it in this biz. I'm a fucking professional. Each week it's something different. Sometimes I have a guest host. Sometimes it's gonna be a movie companion episode. Sometimes I just ramble about the bullshit I dealt with the week before. You never know what you're gonna get. It's raw, uncut, and funny. It's me. Hey everybody, it's your girl Jessimae here on the Sharp Tongue Podcast, reminding you to not be an asshole. Okay? Life is short. We're a blip in time. And because of that, you shouldn't be a cunt. Be kind. And speaking of kind, this next guest literally is a beam of sunshine. The moment I met her, I honestly thought she's either a serial killer or the nicest person in the world and the most purest person ever. She's either like the most pure serial killer ever or the most purest person. And it turns out she's calling us from prison. She's a murderer. No, she's amazing. She's a comedian, stand-up comedian, actress, author, Little Miss Little Compton, which is a real place. It is a real town in Rhode Island. She wrote a memoir, and honestly, I am in the midst of it, and it's so revealing, and it makes me feel like her and I were definitely separated at birth, and we have so many grief connections, very parallel grief connections that make me wonder, is everything just coincidence, or is there something else going on where you actually meet people and you're connected for a reason? And I believe that, and I'm so excited to talk to her. She's amazing. Everyone, please give it up for the one, the only, Arden Myrin.
Hi! Don't be an asshole. Just don't be a cunt. Don't be a cunt in 2020.
Right?
It's too hard as it is. Life is too...
It's
They're
too
real.
hard.
They're real, and they're jiggly.
Yeah, you've got good. You're a thin-framed woman you have curves.
I've got curves. I'm a small gal I've got a tush, I got a booty, and I've got real titties. And I wouldn't say they've ever been standing but they're cute in a bra. Cute in a bra. You know what I mean?
That's second memoir title.
Cute in a bra is number 2. Spooning with hookers, a girl's life, number 3. But yeah, those are my titles.
It really is so revealing, and I have so many questions.
Yeah.
First, how long would you say this endeavor took you?
I mean, if I'm being really honest about it, this journey, this freaking beast the idea of it started like 9 years ago. And then I've had iterations, different proposals, different versions. And I would say the actual book total writing probably took like 14 months total.
That's a pretty decent amount of time to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so much a summary of your life as much as it's highlights of things you've experienced. And it's like you really chose to feature things that, one, break your heart, and two, and this is why I've always, the few times that we've actually seen each other, you know how comedians are. You feel like you know each other so well because of the nature of what we do. But
it's always festivals. It's always festivals. Yeah.
It feels like you found aspects of your life that people could really learn from in a way that they feel like they can survive the tough stuff.
I mean, it's I just wanted to write like a breezy, fun, silly beach read. And by the nature of like when I sold it, how it all went down. Did you finish it? Have you finished the book?
I I'm almost
I don't.
done.
I don't care if you fit. I don't. There's no because there's spoilers at the end of like.
I needed to skip to the end because of what I'm going through.
Okay. So that's because I'm wondering. I'm like, she's already. I can tell you've already read the end. It's like this fun book that turns into something else. So basically, it was supposed to just be sort of like my David Sedaris, my version of Chelsea Handler. Like I wanted to write this fun beach read, and then that was the goal. That was the original proposal. Like. I did the podcast Couples Therapy, and they read it, and they said that they thought it should be called like Funning with Scissors. It's like a fun version of Running with Scissors, where it's like kind of this crazy family, but it's fun. And like, so I just wanted like this fun, relatable, like quirky family with some fucking rascal stuff. And then like, I found out I sold the book. I was filming Insatiable. I was in episode 1, season 2. I was at a twerk out class with Debbie Ryan, and I got a call that nobody could get in touch with my mom. And like, I was there when they found her I was on the phone. Like, my mom died. Like, she died making breakfast. And so
her favorite breakfast,
her favorite toast,
which is what you smell when you die.
Oh my God. Or when you have a stroke. And so I hope I smell
toast. That's what it is when you have a stroke. It's not when you die. It's when
you taste pennies and you smell toast when you're having a stroke, which I love toast. I mean, I'm like, that's almost I love toast. Who doesn't like butter?
You don't like
butter?
Toast?
If you don't like fucking toast, what the fuck's
You're
wrong?
Weird.
You don't like your garbage if you don't like fucking toast.
Yeah.
So I went home to my mom's funeral, and on the way to the funeral, like after so many freaking years of trying to sell this sucker, I get this email out of the blue that's like, hope you're having a great week. Like, not really. They're like, we're so excited to do this book with you. I sold the book on the way to my mother's funeral. And literally, which is like a 20-second drive because it's the smallest town in America that I grew up in, Little Compton, Rhode Island. Excuse you. Little Compton, Rhode Island. Shout out. Excuse you. There she is. Chelsea Handler says it's fun. Excuse you. And so then I'm like, well, fuck. Like now it's a different book. Like my mom was barely in the proposal, like barely. It actually completely turned into a different book. It was like a tribute to her. And I wrote it as, I don't know exactly. I was supposed to do your podcast, and then I get this message from your producer that you were on a plane, that something terrible has happened to your mom, which of course I don't want anybody to ever. Were you at a twerk out class when you found out?
You know what's crazy? Because I wanted to tell you, I'm such a nerd. I've leafed parts of the book where I'm
please tell me everything.
So you were filming for Netflix. One of your, you've done so many, we both have worked so much, but you've done so much. You've been in movies, and you've done, whoever has a successful TV show featuring comedians, you've been on it. But was Insatiable like one of your bigger gigs?
It was like my first hour long that I was a regular of, and I was like the bad guy, and I felt like they really trusted me, and they really got me, and I got to be the villain. I was a serial killer, like, spoiler alert, but like, and they would like let me improvise. So it, like, just creatively, and it was all run by women, and we had like our directors were women or gay men. It was just like, I felt like I could just run creatively. It was my favorite thing I ever got to do.
So I was doing the same thing with Netflix in September.
Yeah.
Like that's all the things you just said is exactly how I felt about this project. And then, the day after my birthday,
when's your birthday?
September 16th.
My mom's the 17th. I love a Virgo. I love a Virgo.
That is so weird.
And my best friend's the 17th.
That's really strange. There's a lot of similarities in our life that freak me out.
I love this. I was supposed to. Okay, so you're filming.
So I'm filming.
It's my mom's birthday. So it's my mom's birthday.
Yeah. So like 17th, the 18th, I get a call from my sister that my mom is like in a coma, and they don't know if she's going to wake up, in the hospital's telling her to do a DNR. And I'm like,
yeah. And we're in a pandemic.
I'm on a closed set. I'm not supposed to go anywhere. And I had to fly back. Netflix was like, absolute. They weren't even, and you also spoke about like the camaraderie and the friendships and feeling so like how much you felt safe and supported on that set by all walks of, the whoever's on, like the cast and the crew and network side. Like I felt the same way. Like they were just like, you need to go and do this. There's no question. Like I had a break. We had to stop. I cost the production probably a pretty penny because we were on a closed set. So they couldn't pause the production. They were in they had that little set amount of time because of the way things are in pandemic. But yeah, I had to go back and deal with that whole revelation, which you asked before, like what happened. And I've told people before on the podcast, but in brief, she went in for a twisted colon, which is like death.
Who even knows that's a thing? Like nightmare. What? The human condition is a nightmare. Nightmare.
It's like, isn't it already
woman? Isn't that enough? Like, how do you twist your colon? Like,
what are you doing?
What do you mean twisted colon? How dare you? No,
what are you doing?
Like twisted colon. How dare you? How dare you? Twist
so rude.
Sweet mama, P's colon. Excuse me, rude. Twist your own colon, world.
So rude. 2020, the whole year felt like a twisted colon.
Excuse me, this is the year of the twisted colon. Rude. Tacky.
Okay, side note, I also say rude to everyone, so much so that my niece and nephew are starting to like have full conversations. Say rude to people.
Yeah.
Very strange. Very strange.
Spirit animal.
Rude. I also feel like if somebody says something to me, like they make a character accusation, I go rude, but accurate. Very accurate.
Oh, definitely accurate. Oh, they're all accurate. Everything shitty you say about me is probably 100% accurate. And rude. And let me insult myself first. I know. You think I don't know that I sound like this? You think I don't know that my face is a little pointy or that I look a little bit like Adam Scott? I know. You don't need to point it out, Adam Scott. You don't need to tell me. I'll tell you because that's rude.
It's highly rude. It's rude. Intensely rude.
Rude.
But yeah, we have this, so you had to like break production.
Yeah.
How long were you gone from production?
I had to go for a week. So they had to reboard everything because there was like an ice storm in Rhode Island. Like I couldn't get home. So I had to wait a couple days like a maniac in an Airbnb trying to get to my mom's house. But I'd had such because my dad had died episode 1, season 1. God, that was the other thing. I was like, hey guys, normally I'm the fun one on this set. They only know me as a grieving maniac on location in Atlanta. But my dad died forever. And I will say, like, I did a Steve Martin play. I did like the pre-Broadway run of the one that Amy Schumer did. And opening night, right before curtain, I get a call. My dad's like in the street roaming, like going, like he's gonna die. And I remember turning. I didn't tell anybody, but the woman that shared, it was like four of us, a 4-person play. I never left the stage. And she was like, your father's been rushed to the hospital. He's probably gonna die. Opening night curtain. And I'm like, Steve Martin was there. They're all there. Like Martin Shore is there. They're all fucking there. And I was like, you know what? If he's dead now, he's gonna be dead in 2 hours. Like this is I can't deal with this. Like I just have to let me just go do tonight and just stick my landing. I've worked my whole life. I'm like the lead in this play. I got to just do this. Like, it's not going to do anything. Let me just execute this tonight. And I did. And
do you feel like you were did you shut it down completely or were you able to process it?
No, I mean, in the moment I was batshit, but I do think as being a comedian, I mean, there's so much adrenaline. In order to like get your sea legs as a stand-up, you learn if you have to under pressure with high adrenaline, you learn how to self-soothe enough. When Elvis starts to leave the building of your body, you learn how to like be like, no, not today, devil. Like, let's just like, we've all had shows when it's like the Friday late show. And I think in some ways there's nothing prepares you more than anything than like a Friday late show in Indianapolis at like Crackers. That's gonna like
Steve Martin quit comedy.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, truly. I mean, that is, I think nights like that prepare you for things like this, where if you have to go do it, nothing is worse than a drunken heckling crowd. Like if you can survive that and wrangle them, you can do this. And so yeah, I had to go for a week, but then I came right back, and the first scene up was a funeral scene.
I mean, that's also, side note, another similarity we have. I was scheduled to shoot a show with E, a show I had prepped for 2 or 3 weeks for. I had to learn dance steps and
you did.
routines. And the night before the episode airs, my sister called me and told me that my father had passed away. And I had to go, and I did the same thing where I was like,
you did it. Did you do it?
I did, because I could hear my dad being like, what do you do? Like, you need to go do this show. I'm going to be gone.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
Oh my God. So we're on the same trajectory.
September. We're on the same October 29th, 2018.
All right. Yeah.
When did your father pass away?
Let's
do dead parent.
My dead dad was like July 31st, 2017. Mom was March 2019. 18 months.
And it's,
but it's the same time difference as you.
It really is.
Mine was just a year ahead. So twisted colon.
Twisted colon. So anyone who has a twisted colon out there, FYI, if you have gastrointestinal issues, go get them checked out, because your colon could be twisted.
Dude, who knows what's up there? Who knows? Anything could be happening. I don't know. I'm not judging you. I don't know how that happened. I'm not like putting a hex on you.
Yeah, I mean,
check it out.
They don't even know why, which is just rude. You went 10 years to medical school?
Yeah, thank you. You went 10 years to medical school. You're not going to get up in my business?
You're not going to give me can you make up a reason why it happens?
Yeah.
Just make something up.
I want you to at least lie to my face and tell me that I'm pretty for the night, you know what I mean? Just lie to my face and tell me my colon might be twisted.
Yes. Just reach into that bag of medical expertise and pull out some bullshit.
So how many siblings do you have?
I'm the youngest of 4, but my mother and father had 2, and my dad had 2 from his previous marriage.
Okay. So you get this call, you're like, okay, twisted colon has now morphed into.
She was being prepped for surgery, because if you have a twisted colon, you have to have surgery. It's life or death.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know that. I mean, you've heard of twisted colon.
I went to medical school.
Twisted colon will not be at Coachella this year.
Oh my God, I love them. I did so much ecstasy and I danced to Twisted Colon. I was just flying out in the desert. So sunburned. My heavy tits should have been more wrangled. They were just flying freely at a crochet top at Twisted Colon. But I had a great time. Great time.
Heavy Tits could be your rapper name.
Heavy Tits. Also was headlining that headline. They did a little guest spot. It was great. It was great. I didn't expect that combo to come together, Heavy Tits and Twisted Colon. But you know what? Sometimes lemonade happens.
Lemonade, listen. Sometimes you're served a platter of goodness from life, and you just got to squeeze it into a glass and drink it.
True story.
You really do.
True story.
Do you ever feel that sometimes after, if you just laugh and then you're done filming, you think that, are you self-conscious about the microphone, the being laved? I'm always like,
oh my God. Oh.
In the bathroom, just laughing to yourself.
I feel like I realized when all the Me Too things started and the Time's Up thing started, and I'm like, the jokes I've made on audio, audio, I'm like, I didn't realize how much, I didn't realize once I was mic'd, how much I'm like, oh, I make a lot. Because when you're around a lot of dark people, you're just
talking shit.
You're talking shit. But then, if you're around, this was the first show I was on where it was it was for the CW, and then Netflix bought it. So I'd never been around the beautiful people. You know what I mean? I had literally never even seen most of them before in my life, except for Alyssa Milano. I'd never even signed in on the same call sheet as I literally didn't know who anybody was.
I mean, Debbie Ryan is so beautiful.
Oh my God. I remember she did my podcast a few times, and I had to warn, I host a very silly Bachelor podcast. It's very, very hard hitting, very important political Bachelor podcast. And
what's it called? Tell them what it's called.
will you accept this rose? And I mean, it's so dumb. And it's like me and comedians talking about The Bachelor. It's so dumb. I treat it like a sporting event. Like, who's going to get banged in the fantasy suites? Like, who's the villain? Who's going to be drunk in the first night? Like, whose sibling is going to mouth kiss them when they go to hometowns? Things like that. And there's a lot of like brothers that wear like cowl neck sweaters and like mouth kiss. Anyway, but I remember Debbie did it a couple times and I had to warn everyone, like, when you're sitting at a table, like, her face is so pretty, like
her face looking is so perfect.
Her face. And what's interesting about her is she was the person that I accidentally befriended. Turns out she's a funny ding dong.
She's funny.
She doesn't know, like, she doesn't know that she's that face. She's actually really funny. And it was like, it's like, she's actually like a little bit, she's a similar spirit animal. She would be your pal.
She's spicy. I did Steve Burns' movie, opening act, and it's with her and a bunch of other people. And Peter, you know who produced that?
Who?
Freaking the dude from Christmas Story.
Oh, you'll shoot your eye out?
Yes.
Did he look exactly the same?
He looked exactly the same.
You know who his best friend is?
You.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, yeah.
I'm the female Vince Vaughn. A lot of people think I am Vince Vaughn. Okay, so what happened? So she was in a coma. Twisted colon.
So she's getting prepped to get her colon untwisted. Like, I don't even, at this point, I'm like, are they cutting into her? Are they just going to like sort of fold her? I'm imagining them just folding her in a way that she just untwists.
Like a balloon animal.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how we would do it. We should have gone to, excuse you. We
don't have solutions?
We should have gone to medical school. The world was robbed.
We already solved it.
We figured it out, assholes. How about this?
Did you try untwisting it?
Why don't you not make the poodle with the balloon? You make the snake.
Yeah, you ever hose your garden and it gets a kink?
Yeah,
you don't cut the kink.
Yeah, you don't cut the kink, dickhead. Then everything's gonna go flying. You do that. Okay, so they were gonna untwist her.
So she's sitting in the prep room to go into surgery, and her boyfriend, who, fun twist in the story, my mother's boyfriend now was my stepdad 15 years ago. They got divorced, but he's back in the picture.
I love that for them. I love that for them.
Steve.
Great.
Who also happened to be the neighbor's dad. He lived 4 houses down, and then he moved into my house.
Ooh.
That's how you become a comedian. That's one of the recipes.
Oh, trust me. You definitely need some kind of a dad situation. There's something with the dad. Every woman on Mad TV, they're either missing, they're in jail, they're an alcoholic, they're on Unsolved Mysteries, they're alcoholic, there's something, there's a quirk with the dad.
Yes.
Somebody, you scratch the surface of a female comedian, you're going to find a little pepper in the pot with the dad.
Yeah, there's always a little bit, and it's not like, I mean, there's some weird daddy issues some of them have, but
oh yeah,
mine was a stepdad who was my friend's dad, and I was like, why is Steve here? Why is he just not leaving?
Steve, why aren't you going home? Excuse you,
Steve. Rude. First rude.
Why are you fucking my mom, Steve?
Steve, why do you have a coffee mug?
Steve, rude. I don't need to see you at breakfast.
Steve, are those your slippers? Rude.
Steve, I'm 11 and you're Steve, and you need to go home now, Steve. Rude.
You're 11. You're Steve. Oh my God, I'm gonna look at him next time I go home and just laugh my ass off.
That's it. That just sums it all up right there. I'm 11 and you're Steve, and you're gonna now have to sign me up for an open mic at the Chuckle Hut because of our interaction right here over an Eggo.
My God. So he's in the prep room with Nancy.
Sure. Yeah.
Your mom's name is Janet.
Janet and Nance.
I have Aunt Janet. Another thing. Another layer to our weird cake.
Our onion cake. Our friendship onion cake. Our friendship onion cake.
Delicious with the right.
Oh my God.
Arrangement.
I like anything. I like flavors, even gross ones.
We are doctors, and we're also extreme bakers.
We're extreme baker doctor. We're extreme sport baker doctors. So we kind of know what we're doing. Okay, so Steve is there. Nancy's like, make sure they untwist this. Yeah.
So he's looking at her and she just goes,
nope.
Had a heart attack, went into cardiac arrest.
That's the thing. It's like lights out.
And then that's when she, was in somewhat of a coma.
Thank God she was in the hospital, though.
The hospital said if this were to happen at home, she would have died.
That's what happened to the J-sters. JJ. Making toast. Lights out. At least she had toast to look. She didn't get to eat the fucking toast, but she had hope when she died. She had hope.
She did have hope when she died. And you know what? This is a real lesson that hospitals should serve breakfast for regular people.
Thank you. That's exactly. Thank you.
It's the hospital's fault that Janet died.
Thank you. She should have just been there like, give me the toast, please. Because then
toast should only be available in hospitals.
You have to go. You want your toast? You better come here. You want your Thomas's English muffin slathered in oleo, as she called it?
Oleo? You want your nooks and crannies saturated with yellow chemicals?
You want to give yourself a heart attack for breakfast? You have a heart attack? You better do it here in the fucking hospital.
Yeah, you're going to Smith Sloan's hospital, 3rd floor.
Yeah. So she had a heart attack, and then what happened? What'd they do?
Well, then they were like, well, this has gotten a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
She still had to have this emergency surgery.
Yeah.
So they had to defibrillate her a few times. They zapped her. I think that's when they plug her into a wall. I'm not sure. I think they throw water on her and do a hair dry thing. I'm not sure.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how I did it at my medical school, which is
Four
Seasons Landscaping Medical School.
Yeah, we asked for the budget defibs, and it's when they toss your mom into a bathtub and throw
put a toaster in. Yeah,
put your mom's toaster.
and the toast pops up, and she wakes up and is like, "I got it." Okay, so
people listening, nobody should be offended because we're laughing about our moms. So
guys, here's the thing: we're all laughing because what else are we gonna do, guys? It's 2020. It's a dumpster fire. Here's what this should be a message of hope. It's like you're still yourself through all of this. That's what I want everybody to. I really wanted everybody to know you're still yourself. You can still have a center in your own heart and be okay, even if the world. You can.
That's what. Honestly, that's what this whole thing is so inspiring about. in this, like I underlined one of the things that the beautiful Debbie Ryan said. She said, I've been told God doesn't waste pain, and I've seen firsthand the beauty and comedy Arden was able to find even during the shadows of tragedy. And that's exactly like, not everybody can do that. It's really difficult. We're not saying like it's just you should do this, but knowing that you can get through this with some dignity and some semblance of a balanced approach.
Here are the top 5 things that honestly, the gift of the grief was I could not people please. And that my body instinctively knew, we were talking earlier, who I wanted to text back, who I didn't have the time for yet, but I would later. What I wanted to do, what podcasts I wanted to do, what work things I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. And also I knew that somebody told me that to play, and I don't even think this, everyone says that this isn't even proper grammar, which is probably not, but like to play was the regulator of grief for the cells in the body. So there was
you mentioned that.
So I literally just almost did like an experiment. I was like, okay, that the body needs to play a little bit. And so my brother and I would like have little dance parties. And then like Debbie made us a dance. We made us like a playlist on Spotify, and we would like dance to like ABBA and then like fall on the ground and cry. But like, there was something about that, or like, I still wanted to do my Bachelor podcast, like that you start to know, like, I would have known like, oh, Jessimae feels like a safe person. Like you can see and sometimes you guess wrong. Sometimes you're like, nope.
But you notice, but I think you notice that quickly.
And so I called it Grief Island, and it's like that you lower the bar, eliminate make half the commitments, maybe 1/3 of the commitments that you normally do. Allow time for just lying on the couch, allow time for watching whatever your reality. I don't know what your jam is, what your Great British Bake Off or Queer Eye is. I don't know what your thing is, but like something that you're like, I would watch like Queer Eye or Great British Bake Off, where I'm like, oh, is the baker gonna bake the lion cake? And it's like I could focus on it. It was like the TV version of Prozac. Like I would go to gym classes that were 60 minutes long, and I would show up at like the 38-minute mark and just sort of slow shuffle and kind of cry in the back, but just move around a little bit. Like just.
Did you really do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep yourself moving, like.
Yeah. I just felt like I know I do better with a little movement. I knew I needed to get like, I would go on walks, and then I would go eat a lot of tacos with people, but like only like who felt safe. Like, okay, Debbie's safe. Like, who can handle, who do I not? It's here's who I couldn't handle. I couldn't handle she's in another place like that.
Oh, God,
people mean well, but people are like, just know you're not quite at your best. And they're like, oh, this is my friend. Don't mind her. Like, if I didn't have to be okay, it actually made it easier for me to actually be okay than if somebody manically needed for it to be like, but they're okay, right? They're going to be okay, right? You're fine. Yeah. And it's like, look, I know your mom's not out of the hospital yet. I know there's like a gray area. I know it's great news that she's alive, but I know it's a complicated path. And like the people that want to wrap it up with a bow and be like, but it's good news, right? It's like, well, it's like, it's hard to be in the hallway. And I think that's what this year has been with the pandemic. It's like getting comfortable being uncomfortable and being with the people and the things that feel safe and joyful. And just know you're going to make a few errors along the way and just can course correct and be like, bye, Felicia. I won't be calling you again.
Exactly what this year is about. It's really teaching you how to sit in chaos and realize that it's not the end of the world, even though it feels like it. And everyone keeps saying it.
Yeah.
There's so many magical powers that people have within themselves that sometimes it takes this chaotic, destructive time to unearth those powers.
I've been so impressed at how people have pivoted, how it now seems normal to do a podcast like this, and like that you can actually I didn't expect to be doing a book. Like I thought I'd be on tour right now doing a book tour. Like, and yet because of the book, I reached out to people I knew who all had podcasts, and I feel like I've had these moments of connection and grace and these conversations with people, like, even though we're safely, that there's still magic. It's just like there's a simplification. It won't always be like this. And like I've learned not to be afraid of my own company.
Yeah. And that's in a step further. I've learned to like not be afraid of my own company, but also like enjoy it more.
Me too. I like my own company. I'm kind of fun.
Right?
Yeah.
You described the pig fucking the Picasso chapter is so much. There's so much happening. But you said it was a beautiful, horrible day. And I think that sort of encapsulates my mindset of this year.
Yeah.
It's finding the beauty in the horror.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I certainly didn't. I was like, well, 2019's over. At least it's going to be a fresh start, you know? Like, and I think I remember when my mom died that there were so many fun things in my life, as it sounds like you have so many fun, like that. I was like, no, she wouldn't want me to like go down with the ship. Like, and it doesn't mean you have to be Pollyanna about it. But even like this year with the pandemic, like, I know I have been depressed in my life. I have been super depressed for like 2 years and cried all the time. And like, you know, and I had a really hard time a couple of years in my 20s. And I just thought, like, I feel like it's like momentum. It's like, it's easier just to kind of keep the ship upright and going than to like, if I really give in and really get into bed and really just like let myself go. I've done that. And it takes so long to climb out from that.
It does.
But it's like, maybe this is a gift. Like, and it's not personal and it's happening to everybody. And all right, it's like screaming at the sky because it's raining. Like, it's not my ideal. I'm aware that I'm lucky that like I've been we're in an industry where I've been able to figure out ways to earn. Like I'm aware, like so I don't say that flippantly. I know if that's like, a lot of people don't know they're going to pay their lights,
Right.
things like that.
We are sort of in an industry where if you have the means, you can pivot
a
little and just put the rock in the river so the water goes a different way.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't say I'm like rolling in it, but I know I will be able to pay for my car this year, and I don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
It's yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask you when you were talking about grief and the great things that came from it for you. What was some of the hardest things? What was the more difficult aspects of grief in your relationship with it that you looking back maybe realize now?
I'll tell you with both of them. I was surprised how much grief I had from my dad because I had all the warning. I mean, he died for like 30 years literally, and he was tough. Like he wasn't a nice guy. And I'd done all the work. Like if it was just never going to happen with him. Like I was never going to get the big, I'm proud of you. I love you. Like if it was, I did everything in my power. Like if it was ever going to happen, it would happen. It just wasn't going to happen. Like he just couldn't do it. And I was at peace with that. I was surprised how much sadness I had when he died. And then, so I learned that it takes like about a full year. And like I felt like myself again about a year later. And when my mom died, I'd had about 4 months of kind of feeling myself again. And when she died, I felt like somebody had thrown me onto the roller coaster at like Six Flags, and like this shoulder things came down. I was like, oh fuck, like here we go. And this
didn't quite click.
Yeah.
The shoulder things came down, but they didn't latch, and you're like,
fuck. And it's like, I don't want to be like, I just did this. Like, I don't want to be here. And I want to be like, I'm like, I just want to be like the fun cast member who's not grieving. Like, I just fucking did this. And so I would say the harder, I think it's the hardest things of grief for me are you feel like you're going to feel that way forever. You feel that you're going to feel other or different than other people forever. Or I always liken it to being like a Macy's Day balloon where like 11 out of the 12 handlers have lost the handles. Like there's only one person. You've left Earth, and there's like, you feel kind of crazy, You do. Which makes it harder to connect. So like even with your safe friends, you feel like a little bit weird, a little bit. And I think you feel like you're going to feel like that forever. You feel like you're going to feel like a freak in the crowd, even with the most accepting friends. You feel like you're going to feel different forever. And that you don't even realize how much you're holding your breath with that.
Yeah.
Until it is gone and you don't feel like that anymore. And
it feels more like that. Like you said, people's grief language is so lacking that that just drives the nail in even more.
Well, there's so many people who are so nervous about it. Like I think I never in my life, I mean, I grew up in a family that did not talk about feelings, but never in my life did I feel that. I actually feel like it's part of my journey on earth to normalize grief. Like that it's okay to grieve. It's okay. Like it's normal. And I actually feel like that's what this year is. Like even like hanging, I've been very socially distanced from people. So like when I do hang with the mask outside, and it's like I miss my friends' fucking faces.
Yeah, I miss chins.
Oh my god, Lauren
I love a chin.
Lauren Lapkus came over yesterday, and I was like, "Can I just see your like lower face?"
She's got a great face.
She's got such a good face. I'm like, let me just see your face. I just miss your fucking face.
You can't have Lapkus over and not see a profile.
Yeah, I'm like, who's this mysterious Lapkus?
We should do 2021 like Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have that. I'm so sick of just give me a chin.
Give me a lower lip. I don't even give me a white girl upper lip. Like give me one of these.
Give me anything. Give me anything. I also would say the thing that was really hard with grief was, and I don't just when it would sneak up on you. Like I remember finding my mom's nail. Like I had one day to just throw shit in a bag and bring it back to the Airbnb in Atlanta. So like one little roller suitcase of my mom's stuff, you know. So I took like a nightgown, her cat, like paperwork, some jewelry. I just sort of shoved and like some makeup, and I found like her nail file, and there was something I remember it was like I hadn't really opened the bag, but I opened it, and like 4 weeks later, there was something about the smallness of like a nail file that this woman had like just used, and like seeing that like with her, there's something so human, and just sobbing uncontrollably and thinking that I was never going to be able to see an item of hers and not just like lose it again.
Yeah.
But it does, I will say, and you can't speed it up.
You can't.
You can't. There's no free pass. The only way through is through. You just got to walk through that. But I really believe you got to feel it to heal it. And I think if you actually if you build in some sort of fun and then I found a therapist in Atlanta that I went to twice a week. And then I found a couple groups I went to. And so I had a place to go be not okay. And then that enabled me to play. It took the burden off of my friends to have the sobbing woman on their hands. And then so I could pay people or go to afford like free basements and, cry with shitty coffee so that I could go have fun and show up. And then I actually found I did like going to work and I did like doing this stuff so I could forget about it. But so that was my thing. It was like, if you actually just sort of feel it and process it and go through the why and don't let people like talk you out of it, I actually feel like it doesn't leave as many scars as when you fight it or pretend it's not there. Like it's like a clean cut. It's not a dirty scrape along the pavement. Right. It's like a clean knife cut. I now feel like pretty joyful. I'm like, oh, she's everywhere. I feel joyful. But when people would say that to me, like, oh, she's still with you. It's like, go fuck yourself. Your mom's still with you in fucking Cincinnati. Fuck you.
Carol.
Carol, excuse you. Rude,
but accurate. I know she's with me. She's everywhere, but rude.
Yeah, excuse me.
Please don't come at me with your grief quotes that you got off a plaque at Marshall's.
Yeah,
don't come at me with your Marshall's grief quotes.
With your namaste grief quote wall, like a fixer-upper. It's don't put some fucking wainscoting in your grief quote coming at me. I can't. How are you doing? How are you, Press?
Great.
You're in the middle of it right now. You're in the middle of it. How's she doing?
I feel like my dad's death, like you said, it breaks you apart, but it opens you up in a way that for me, it's opened me up so wide that there isn't any place. There's not as many divots in my soul where worry and fear and doubt get to hang on to. You know what I mean? My soul was cast so wide after my dad died that I feel like those sort of things just sort of go right through me in a different fashion. So with this whole thing with my mom, the unknown being the most difficult aspect of it, it's not that I've come to peace with the outcome. I just know that the outcome could go either way. And that I'm such a crier.
Oh my God, I cry all the time. Are you kidding me? I cry all the time. You can credit me. I don't
beautiful care. Part of life is that we don't hang on to it. It's
just weird when you're really face to face with the cycle of life. It's not for sissies, man. I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. If you're lucky enough, like you described your mom as somebody who loved being a mom and who put so much effort into it. And it sounded like she was fun and colorful and spontaneous and also responsible and instilling values in you, but allowing you the space to be you. That's what makes it so much more difficult. Like if my mom was just a crack whore and my dad was, her pimp.
Yeah.
I'd be a stripper instead of a comedian. And I would mask all my feelings. No offense to strippers. Not that that's, I got to say that these days, but some of you are fucked up like us. That's why we seek each other out.
Oh, it's either a pole or a mic stand.
Same thing. We're hanging off of it the same way.
It's funny when you say that about your dad. I will say, I was aware that my biggest fear was because my mom was alone in the country, that she would die and nobody would find her Like it literally happened. And I will say, because I was such a worrywart, my biggest fear happened. Worrying about it in advance didn't prevent it. It didn't spare me when it happened. And it didn't like there's really no point. You can truly survive anything.
You can.
And you're okay no matter, we are not in charge. You're okay no matter what. And like, there's so much magic and like, this is it. Like, there's so much, and you can celebrate. Like, I think even just, you know, in the other parts of the book, like there was so much of me, I think for so many years that felt different or wrong. That was like, you know, I think so many people think, oh, if I only made this amount of money or weighed this much or had my house look like, let's like, then I'll be okay. It's like, if I could start, like, you're lovable no matter what. Like, as is, start today. Like, fuck it. Like, have some celebration. Hang out with people that don't hurt you. Go to where the love is. What makes your tail wag? Protect your magic. And like, what's your specific, sparkly little thing? The pure essence of what's your little purpose and your little tail wagging to give to the world, and like, go for it. That's it.
Balls out.
That's it. Well,
speaking of going for it.
Yes.
People went for some questions. Would you want to answer some fan questions?
I would love to. It's such a joy to talk to you, can I just say?
It's really
I'm happy to talk to you.
I'm happy to talk to you too. And I was just like looking at the recording. I'm like, I can't. It feels like 5 minutes. I've been talking to you for 5 minutes.
I love
Are you open to all questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Let's see. This is but I'm a terrible reader.
Me too.
Packard,
Right.
whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel just so overwhelmed by life and its challenges?
Yeah. Oh my God. All
Listen
the time.
to this whole podcast. That's all we're talking about.
Oh my God. I do. I will say, like, I've learned how to put structure into my life. I think when you have a job that is freelance, essentially, I do better with some routine.
Same.
And I do better also breaking things down into baby steps. So like, even like the book, I didn't sit down and just like write from like noon to 3. Like, I didn't sit down and write it in order. Like, I had to start with I always sneak through like the dormer window. I don't go through the front door of a project. I can't.
Same.
And I like took so many naps and blackouts. So like, I get overwhelmed, but like, I allow my friend says I'm organized chaos. So like, just like baby steps, just like move the marker forward a little bit every day. Like, and
incremental progress.
But like action. I'm an anxious person. And so if I let my feeling how I felt dictate what I did, I would never leave my fucking house. So like, my feelings are not allowed to dictate what I do for the day. How I feel cannot dictate whether I show up and do the things I want to do or don't want to do. And that's how and then eventually I feel better. I go to bed because I actually like dealt with my shit.
Right. I think structure is a really good approach to handling challenges.
Yeah.
Nicole, this is a real challenge. Nicole S. Andival 59. Wow. She put all the letters and words in there.
I love this for her.
What does Jessie smell like?
Ooh, I was going to say like that Sandal 33. Like, I was going to say like that, you know what I mean? It's like that sort of like, it's like a woodsy but beautiful perfume. It's like that, you know, that Santal 33 in my mind.
Tree. I smell like a tree and moss.
No. It's like that bougie. It's like a roller oil. That's like a bougie.
I use a roller oil.
It's a roller oil. It's like bougie, but like kind of like earthy, but like you want to get into that hair and be like, what is that? Am I right?
Yes.
Great.
Trevor Turbo asks, do you like Metallica or Slayer?
Metallica.
Really?
Yeah. Do you like Slayer?
You know, both of them give me a little bit of anxiety, but I see the need to kind of thrash.
Yeah.
And let it out.
Yeah, sure.
Metallica feels, and this is no offense to any Metallica fans.
Sure.
Fuck you guys. Metallica feels like a metal band Disney made.
I respect that.
I'm going to get so much hate mail.
I love that. But you know what? Why not? Go.
Slayer feels like a sister. Like, Metallica went to school to learn how to rock, and and Slayer's a sister who like got raped as a teenager and like had to rock for survival.
Right. There you go. Didn't want to become a comedian. So there you go. Yeah, I get that. Great.
Unky Brian. Oh, God. This one comes with some strange questions. Being a white woman, what is your love for clean cotton Yankee candles and sconces?
I don't like a Yankee candle. I
don't either. They're trash. Sorry.
They're trash. I mean, I don't speak for all white women. I don't think I have exactly the same taste as all white women. So I'm going to say pass on the Hallmark Yankee candle. I like a sconce. I feel like, look, I'm not mad at sometimes. I think sometimes overhead lighting can be harsh and
very harsh.
And I don't ever mind having a nice glow to give me a nice youthful glow. I get sometimes as a white woman, you get sort of like a grayish pallor that's not I need a little help to keep in the wintertime looking fresh. So I'll take a sconce. Yeah,
I'll take a sconce.
I'll take a sconce. Give us
if anybody wants to send us a sconce, we would love. We each have podcasts. Send us a podcast sconce.
I need a podcast sconce, please.
This question, without fail, always finds its way onto the podcast.
Love this.
S. Lucy Grant. Basically, have you ever crapped your pants?
Of course, obviously. Everybody.
Have you ever crapped your pants on set?
No, but I did shit on my neighbor's lawn.
Good for you.
Jogging. Coffee. Uh-oh.
Wait, so you had to go and you're like, so if it was your neighbor, you couldn't make it to your house?
Not in Los Angeles. Couldn't make it to my house. Not in the country. In the country.
Okay. Yeah, not Los Angeles.
Not in I shat on Kirstie Alley's lawn. I don't know. I don't live.
Yeah,
in that
were you
fancy, I don't live in that fancy a part of a town. But you don't know who lives where. I don't know. I've never shat on I've never shat on a California neighbor's lawn, but I have shat on a neighbor's lawn, and I
guess there's a lot of lawns in California that have been shat on purposely.
I think I have shat my pants. Also jogging. I think I've shat my pants. Have you shat your pants?
This is going to sound like a humble brag. I don't know that I have.
Oh, wow.
I take that back.
You have. Everybody has.
I take it back. It happened a couple days ago.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing. I would say my brother phrased it like this. My brother and I have shared pants shitting stories. One time he got really close. He was really close he made it, but he said it was after a raucous New Year's Eve out.
Oh,
and he
Jesus.
said, so alcohol morning after January 1st.
Oh.
He told me that his intestines were so excited that they knew they were he really had to go. And his intestines were so excited. He lived in Brooklyn. There was an elevator situation. They were so excited. They were like puppies doing circles. They knew they were going to get to go for a car ride, but they knew they were close to home that I think that's what happened with me with the neighbor's lawn where I made it back from the end of I went for a 3-mile jog and at mile 1.5, I'm oh, I got to go back. So I'd made it so close, and I think they got excited like puppies, and they knew they were close to home. They were so excited they were going to get to go to the beach that they shat on the neighbor's lawn. You know what I mean?
Your brain is so used to your routine, and it's oh, let me just send this text message to the bowels. Okay, you can go, and you're
go time.
No!
Go time. I'm so excited. I'm almost home. Go time.
But it feels so good when you get a nice soupy poop day.
Oh my god, dude! You're maybe I should get new headshots. You feel
let's go to the beach. Let's go buy bikinis.
Let's go buy bikinis. Let's go.
The bloat
is
gone.
The bloat, who knew that was all in there?
So much stuff is in there. It's
so
rude.
Much stuff. Rude.
So many foods. I tried
so
on. Okay, I need you to help me settle a debate.
Yeah.
I am furious. Can I tell you why I'm furious?
Please.
Furious.
Please.
Not because I can't see my mom during COVID times and the hospital visitation has been paused. Not furious because of that. Furious because of yoga pants that come up to your rib cage.
Okay.
What's with how high? Whose waist is this high?
I have a really long torso.
Do those look good on you?
I have to tell you, as a woman who is built like a corgi dog, as a small, big-titted, big-bootied, saggy, big-titty, long corgi dog.
Now you're flirting.
Torso of a 5 foot not torso of like a 6'4" man.
You do have a long torso.
Inseam of like a 2-year-old. So it's the proportions. I look better with a higher waist because if it's low, it's like, whoa, she's got a lot of belly area, rib cage. Hide it. I have
like a little skinny girl fupa. It's like a little.
Okay.
And I'm all leg.
You're Kermit the Frog. You're short and long. I
have a low butt. My butt's low.
Yeah, so you're Kermit. I'm Corgi. We should make an Adventures of Kermit and Corgi cartoon. So
this is the truth. This is what we need to work on.
So yours comes up to your titty. Mine, I actually feel like, oh, she looks good. They look good on me.
Well, then I have like 6 pairs for you that I'll send to you.
I would like them. I'll take them.
I look like, you know what I look like? I put it on and I have a regular mirror, but it looks like I have one of those funhouse mirrors that makes you smushed.
Yeah.
Because the pants are up underneath my tits. Furious.
Okay. I'll take them. I will take them happily.
I think we need to solve that before we figure out homelessness. We need to figure out the pants situation.
Very important.
It's an extremely important situation for us to handle. Very important.
Get on that, Joe.
We have one last question from one of my super fans, Blakey Sherms, aka Blake Sherman, aka Sherman 5465. Does Arden think Carol killed her husband?
Yes. And fed him to the tigers? Yeah. For sure.
For sure.
Guilty. Yeah.
Definitely did it and probably smiled.
Oh, I would know. Well,
do you think she wore a special outfit for it? Because she had a lot of weird outfits.
Yes. Oh, she was definitely wearing a tiger print while she definitely. Okay, did you watch The Vow with the Nexium?
I've been hearing about this. Do I need to watch The Vow?
I think you do. And now everybody's telling me I need to watch Seduce. I know you're out there going, I should watch Seduce. I know that, but I'm not a member of Stars. I have to get a member. I have to get Stars. I have to become a member of Stars.
Excuse me? You don't have a table?
I'm not a member at Stars yet.
I am a member of Stars.
Will you sponsor me so I can become a member at Stars?
I want the nicest table in this restaurant.
Excuse me. I need a night. Rude. You do need to watch it. Here's what I want to tell you. Cult branding volleyball.
What's that?
Volleyball.
Is that a hint?
In the Nexium, in The Vow, it's like a cult with a sex cult in Albany with branding and their love of volleyball.
Okay, I'm from upstate now. I need to watch it. Albany, you had me at Albany.
Albany sex cult all night volleyball session.
I mean, yeah, 1,000% I'd sign up. Has anyone been to Albany?
I can't believe that many people are fucking in Albany, that they're so into dirty fucking that they need branding in Albany.
You know why? Because it's the capital of New York State and all the little political shit goes down there.
Wasn't that where Wiener? Wasn't that where Wiener was doing it? Wasn't Wiener?
Yeah, eyes wide shut shit. They show up with their political briefcases and leave them at the door.
Thank you.
And they go and they put on, elephant underwear.
I don't want that. What town are you from?
Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I worked at a camp in Saranac Lake.
You did? What did you do there?
I was it was so fun. They should never have hired me. I was 18 years old. For an entire summer, I had like 30 10-year-old girls in my cabin at the age of 18. I should never have been taking care of 30 10-year-olds at 18.
I mean, you think about places like that. People are just, but then again, when you have kids.
In the woods.
Go ahead. Leave them. Let them go.
In the woods.
Yeah.
Any murderer could come. There was no lock on the cabin door.
No. Why would there be a lock? That would be safe. There's an 18-year-old big-titted, big-ass, thin-waisted, perfect in high-waist yoga pants counselor.
And at that point in time, I was like 30 pounds heavier. So I had huge tits, huge-ass gut. Burrito beer gut.
Oh.
Some fun college shame.
I just want a burrito beer gut. I really kind of want to grow one of those.
Oh my God. I could do it in 11 days. If I really
do
think
it
about
in
it.
one.
I think I could probably do it over a long weekend at like a peanut butter factory.
Yeah.
If you give me burritos and peanut butter like pie, McFlurry. Yeah.
A lot of beans because I feel like you could fill up the gut with a lot of air.
Oh, I like that. I like that for us.
And
then we go jogging, and then when we're done, we're like, I gotta get back. I gotta get back
on all the.
Well, when I first started, it wasn't an option to have any curves. Like that wasn't a thing. There was no thing where anybody was like anybody that was any size that was normal. So it's like
now there's variables.
Now you can like be a normal human being.
It's kind of great. It really is kind of great. And then here I am, a little skinny bitch with the fupa, and I might have to send a hate crime letter to Marshall's, the buyer.
Yeah, you should.
It's a hate crime.
I love Marshalls so much. I love Marshalls.
Their fitting room is great for a grief fetal.
Oh.
You ever get into a grief fetal in public?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Those are fun.
I took a nap. I passed out in the middle of our living room floor, like at the feet of people the night
I was wondering about that. I read that. I was like, I wonder if she really, like, were you just so exhausted?
I couldn't. I almost like just blacked out. I just couldn't because I'd been up and like we'd been making those birdseed bags. Yeah. And I'm like, and I just blacked out like but I needed the comfort of people. Like I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to go to my room. And these were all my people. And I just curled up like a little ball. And I just slept at the feet of everybody for like 2 hours. And then I came and I emerged and I did the entire Jesus Christ Superstar soundtrack. Bum 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 ba da 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 ba 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 da 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 da. Who knew that's what needed to happen? But that was the weirdest production. And then it was also my brother and I did a brother-sister production of Little Shop of Horrors where he was Seymour and I was Audrey.
Suddenly Seymour. I mean, Steve Martin.
To my brother. I did to my brother. That's what went down the night. That's what had to we played Suddenly Seymour at my mom's funeral with the piano. We tried to get Beyonce. They said no, so we got Suddenly Seymour.
I read that where you asked if you could play all the single ladies.
Yeah.
Single Ladies by Beyonce, and they said no, and I thought that was rude.
I know. I was like, can we play music?
It's your funeral. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. An anthem about women feeling comfortable being single is bad under the roof of Jesus.
Thank you. Jesus is mad at a cute, fun jumpsuit and jaunty moves in unison.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Do you know the story of Mary?
Excuse me.
Hello.
She got a jumpsuit.
Yes, she did. They weren't, they didn't make it.
Yeah. She was a single lady. What's your plan for the rest of the year? What's your plan for the holidays? What are you going to do?
I'm going to go home.
Okay.
And ride this mom wave.
I think that's smart. You need to go be home.
I'm going to go be home with my sister.
That's smart. It's
do all my work from there.
It's best to be with people who feel the same way. You don't need to not feel any you don't need to not feel no.
No, that's how I feel though. It's like,
and the whole town will get it. Everybody there will get it. You know what I mean?
You said you were when you were in Little Compton that you were like embraced. The whole town embraced you.
Yeah. I mean, and they still do. I feel like they're still, I was worried when you hope, cause it's a small town, you hope people like it. So I think that they've all been really nice and excited about this. Like they really did.
I mean, you really like, you said the most famous thing is Poe the Crow.
Yeah. Poe the Crow. Who stole the mail? Poe the Crow. You should read the whole book. It'll make you laugh.
I've already decided I'm going to. I probably
the early parts are silly. There's a lot of silliness. It doesn't get heavy till the end. So like it's like light reading and there's photos and shit. It's a good light read. Because I know
it's really inspirational because I told you before, I also started writing a book a few years ago. Yeah. And linked up with a literary agent and we were getting ready to shop it all. And then my woman that I was working with that was helping me write it, her father died. And her and I were so involved that I just stopped the process.
Maybe you need to write it by yourself.
And then I started again.
Yeah.
And started writing about my dad and everything that was going on with my dad. And then my mom happened. So I really want to like off the podcast, like get some serious inspiration from you. Like
I would tell you to read the whole thing. And I will also give you off the podcast inspiration and like,
just like what my next steps what they should, or not should be, but like just any sort of advice because I feel like I'm at a.
I will tell you, I actually found the process of, I wrote most of this newly grieving.
Right.
And there's like a magic to that because you're crazy.
Yeah.
And your channel's open, and you can't lie. Your truth is open, and your heart is open. And there was something, and you're a funny person, so it's not going to be a drag. But there's a certain moment in time, like I knew, not to be like, I knew from my dad, like, you feel like you're going to feel that way forever and that you're always going to remember it. And then you don't. Like, I think I don't have kids, but I would imagine it's probably like childbirth, that you like forget it so you can do it again,
Yep.
That's what I've heard. Maybe women who've had multiple kids are like, fuck you, you remember everything. but I think I sort of knew that I was like, I could have easily postponed writing this, but that there was a certain grace of like, I'm here writing this right now. I'm in an Airbnb with my mom's cat writing this right now, like, and showing up at the page, and the grace of that. And it was a different book than I sold, and it's a better book. It's a better book. It's honest, and it's all of it. So I would tell you to read the whole thing. Write down all your funny shit from your life. Write down this, like, just like literally, when I say it, like literally a list of like, so I basically made like, here's my 10 most embarrassing stories.
Right.
Like best of like the shit in the pants, whatever. Like, here's my 10 worst moments in my life that are like the ones that are like the essence. And then I would maybe write down like things you learned from your dad, passing stuff. And then maybe like where you're at right now, and see if there's a structure and a story there of like what that would be.
Who I am on the other side of. It's really interesting. You're right. It's interesting to be in this place where I'm not sure what's going on with my mom.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people can relate to that right now.
Yeah. And writing because you're right, writing from a exposed, open place is, I can't be fake anymore. I can't people please anymore.
Oh my God. Well,
it feels so fucking good though.
Well, that's the thing. This is the biggest gift that I've ever. So I took out multiple proposals for this. I guess we're just gonna have this on your podcast. I've taken out multiple proposals for this, and like over the years, and so it's like, and then when it was Sarah Colonna and Guy Branum's book agent reached out to me and was like, I want to take a proposal with you. And I was like, ugh, like again, like this just, I don't want to do this again. Like, and then this was in summer of 2018. And then I thought, okay, what the version of me now, what would I want to say? Like, not the person that thought that I wanted to do it like 8 years, like now or whatever, 5 years ago, like what would I want to say now? And then, so I wrote the proposal of that, which I'm happy to send to you. And then when my mom died, it was like, oh, she was barely in the proposal. And then my friend says, it's not my memoir, it's my memoir. And I actually think it became a more, even though it sounds daunting and dark, it sounds heavy to write it actually became a more optimistic, joyful book. It was more a celebration. I think my dad was more prevalent, but it's like, this was all like, look at this mad, fun, crazy lady that like, look at all this fun shit that I was programmed with because of this woman. And it was fresh in my brain because everybody was telling me about it. It's like, I'm just going to start with a feeling of that and like, no bullshit. And what would the 21-year-old version of me want to hear? What would young Arden want to hear? Like, and like, what would you want to say to a young lady out there that is like you have stuff, there's your channel's open right now.
Yeah.
And it's still going to be funny. Like, so I made sure, like, I wanted it to be honest. I wanted it to be funny. I wanted it to be hopeful. And I wanted to tell the truth and like, what's true to you.
And I think you honestly, like, from the chunks that I have consumed, you've done that. It's so pure and it's so raw. And honestly, through the darkness, the darkness doesn't feel so light through your filter.
I feel like it's a really hopeful, fun book. And
what would you say, you were talking just a second ago about what you would say to your younger self. Yeah. And something important I want to touch on before I let you go shit on your neighbor's lawn.
Sure. I mean, somebody's got to do it.
I'm going to be right over.
I've got a can of beans, a cup of coffee, and a will to run.
I'm coming over. We're going to do a dual chamber drop on your neighbor's
fupa. Yeah, great.
What would you say to people listening and people who may be going through similar situations that you and I have experienced, grief, losing somebody, in the process of losing somebody? What would you say to them that you would have wanted to know then?
Find somebody you can talk to that's not your family member, anybody. Like, find an outside place where it's okay to be not okay. Schedule yourself a place to go, whether that's a group, a 12-step group, a therapist, or you can get counselors, like some insurance or like social worker, and put on the dance song. Like, you're not betraying a loved one if you have a little fun. Like, you're not betraying somebody's, and protect yourself from the vampires. Like, you know who makes you feel good and you know who kind of makes you feel bad when you're around them. And it doesn't mean you don't need to make a big deal about it, but like, maybe schedule more of the good and less of the bad. And you're going to be okay. But like, listen to your inner compass. Listen to your inner compass. I really believe that like we swim towards the surface, like our body instinctively knows how to take care of it, like for the next indicated action. So like, lower the bar.
Yep.
Listen to your body, but make sure you go like do one fun thing. Like, what's something that's a little fun and safe, and it can be really simple.
Like roller skating.
Oh my God.
Getting stoned and rolling.
Oh my God. Debbie Ryan
and rolling on my skates.
Debbie Ryan and I we would go roller skating. I went to like the roller derby. I did karaoke, and like, it's, and so now you could do karaoke in your house. You can dance in your house, go for a walk, like move your body a little bit, and just protect yourself from the frenemies. And you don't need to deal with it all now. You don't need to end a friendship or have that big chat or be like, you know what, Rhonda? Like, you don't need to deal with it. Just like,
fuck you, Rhonda.
You know what, Rhonda? Go fuck yourself. Fuck you, Rhonda.
Oh, my mom's still with me? Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, my mom's in a better place. All right, why don't you trade with my mom? Your mom's in a fucking better place. That. Go fuck you, Rhonda.
Fuck you, Rhonda. Oh, my mom's still with me? You're not with me. Bye-bye. For that reason, I'm out.
I felt for that reason, I'm out. And truly, that would be what I would say. I would definitely lower the bar. Like, just know, like, you don't need to feel great. Just know, like, you're just making it through. You're just like, and it's okay to cry. You don't need to feel great. Take a hot bath. You don't need to feel great. You can feel like crazy, but be your friend. Like, you're still allowed to, like, you can feel terrible and still have a little fun. Like,
I think that's an important sentiment. Like, the betrayal of your loved one. Like, you're feeling like you need to be so sad all the time during grief. And there's a place and time, and you really have to, more often than not, find the energy, create the energy, manifest the energy to do something fun.
I mean, even listening to a podcast like this, my podcast is really fun. Like, find places that are safe, that like pop it in. If you're going to go for a walk, like, listen to something that's fun and positive and makes you laugh a little. You're not a bad person if you laugh.
No. And you're not a bad person if you laugh and take a shit on your neighbor's lawn. That's science.
Or if you laugh as you take a shit and you scream. I will be honest with you. I chose the neighbor. Not just based on the bush covering. And
was your bush covered?
My giant, but it's hard to cover this bush. Are you kidding me? There's so much to cover. It's like a canned ham down there.
The COVID bush, the quarantine bush.
You know what? Oh my God. I booked a wax for like 3 weeks from now. I can't wait.
I love that you're whispering into the podcast.
I'm so excited. COVID bush. I was like, I can't be. I've been tending to it so much myself, but there's just like the razor burn. Like, and I'm like, no.
Mine looks like this.
Oh my God.
This actually is my bush. This is coming out of my pants.
Mine grows like a fan and has pink roses. It's a full covering.
Oh my God.
COVID bush is no joke.
Girl.
COVID.
Mine looks like Lionel Richie from the 70s.
Mine looks like Gallagher. also does prop comedy.
Oh God, does it smash watermelons?
It smashes. These things will smash. You want to smash that watermelon? It also wears striped shirts. It's not great. It's not. It wouldn't recommend it right now. I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, yeah, hey Raya." Hi, John Mayer. Hi, John Mayer.
Recommend this. Everybody go out and get it.
You'll laugh,
I'm going to finish it.
You'll laugh. You'll cry in the intro and you'll cry at the outro, but you'll laugh in between.
It's amazing. Forward by Debbie Ryan.
This horny gal wrote it for you. Look at that fox. Barb from Stranger Things. You think I didn't recreate that and make a puzzle of that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
I made up my own fucking puzzle. Look at that bag. Oh, by the way, if you want a tote like that, and that's a high-end tote. That's not some bullshit.
No, this is a legitimate tote.
That's like
you sent me a puzzle, a book. You signed my book.
Fuck yeah, I did. You think I'm garbage? I'm gonna treat you like garbage. You're my spirit animal.
Do you know what I did?
What?
Because of the place I'm at in my life and wanting to get back into my book, I put this out to see it every day as inspiration.
Yes. I want you to read this whole thing so you can see how it can be so you can write a funny book while you're crazy.
Yeah.
This is how you can read a funny book with an open heart that's not fully okay.
Yep.
But it's completely true. Like it's pure. There's a purity, and I actually think it's a gift. There's a magic. I actually feel like there's like a connection happening that there's a window in time because it does heal. And I think the gift is there's a truth serum that you don't have when you're not right in it like you are right now.
Yes, I agree with that. This honestly has been so delightful.
If you need a book agent, you want to submit the proposal. I have a great book agent.
Oh, this is a magical moment. Is it because I'm going to send you yoga pants?
I'll give you my address. Give my line and tell me that you love me. Yeah.
Give my fans your address. Where can they find you?
Thank you so much for asking. I am. Okay.
Podcast.
Little Miss Little Compton. If you want to get that tote and a signed copy, if you go to ardenmyrinbook.com, but it's Myrin. Doesn't look like Marine, looks like Myrin. ardenmyrinbook.com. Amy Schumer loves it. Molly Shannon loves it. Zach Galifianakis, Chelsea Handley, our girl Jessimae right here. I also host a podcast called Will You Accept This Rose? It's on iHeart, or you can get it wherever podcasts are. I'm on Insatiable on Netflix, but you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. At Arden Myrin, Myrin. I like design. I like fun clothes and cats, and that's what you'll find on my Instagram. And The Bachelor.
I like you.
I like you too, girl. I like you so much, and I was so happy. I've been thinking about you, and I was so happy to hear. And everyone's sending you good vibes. So she's still in the hospital.
Yep, she's still there. I think she's just at this point trying to find a new boyfriend.
Is she in a coma?
She's out. No, she's in a closet now. They just kind of put her in there just to.
She's looking for a doctor.
Yeah, she's looking for a hot doctor. I think she passed out with Steve in the room, and she's like, maybe I should upgrade.
Fuck you, Steve. Excuse you, Steve.
I'm 11 and you're Steve.
I'm 11 and you're Steve. That's the title of your book right there. I'm 11 and you're Steve is a really fun book title. Or that's the really chapter. There's a chapter title. Write that down.
I will.
You need to do a Steve. There you go. I'm 11 and you're Steve. There's your start of your new proposal.
God,
start
my
fresh.
Face hurts.
I would let you. Don't even look at your old proposal. Don't look at your old shit.
I won't.
Don't.
I honestly was going to.
Don't do it because you can also go. You can go steal from it later when you write the book. Don't even look at it. Start here. I'm 11 and you're Steve. Start with, I need to do a dance number. My dad just died. Start with, I like to get high and go roller skating.
Yeah.
Start with, I got a fupa and start with, I'm on my dream job and now I'm flying and it's like COVID and this is where we are. But I think I'm 11 and you're Steve. Start with just that. Just jot that down.
Really good idea. I'm 11 and you're Steve. Yeah. Chapter titled by Arden Myrin.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Great. I also I've seen you on a lot of podcasts and you talking even your intimate stuff you've been talking about and like the pizza, the guy that put jot that shit. Those are chapters.
Yeah.
There's a chapter.
Yeah.
It could be an empowerment, funny, fucking from a badass, strong woman. All the stuff that has been cracking open in you right now. Just jot it down. You don't need to put it in. It's not a commitment. It's just a proposal, but and then the book will tell you how to write it.
That's like the greatest idea, thinking about the podcast with Ryan Sickler. Yeah, that's a whole...
Just literally jot down this. Here's like 10 chapter ideas, 15 chapter ideas, 3 lines each. And then here's like a sample chapter. I'm 11 and you're Steve. Just write that one.
I'm going to have to title this podcast, How to Write a Book.
That's it. And then what I did, so then they were like, okay, it's between 60,000 and 80,000 words. So I started out, I literally just did I would give myself stickers on like a calendar, and I would do like 1,000 words a day, 1,500. I just started with the word count. And then I like printed it all out and like organized. I was like, this goes with this goes with, like I cut and paste literally on the floor. But I just started with the word count. If I was just precious about coming over and over the first chapter again, it was never going to fucking happen.
Right. That's true. You just have to just fucking write it.
Just keep going. It's like learning how to become a headliner. Like you're getting to get to that fucking 50-minute mark, get to the check drop and keep going. Like, just learn, so just start.
I miss the check drop.
Get to the check drop and just barrel through the check drop. So like, so just start with like literally. Here's how you write your proposal. This is me. This is the overview of the book. Here's your little bio. These are the books that it's like. This is how I miss it. This is my audience. This is how many followers I have. And then you're like, okay, here's the book. Here's the 12th chapter. Here's 4 lines of each chapter. Here's 1 to 3 sample chapters. You could just write, I'm 11 and you're Steve. Work on it, show it to a few friends, email it to me, email it to a few buddies, tighten it up, and then like put some fun photos in, and then send it off.
I'm going to fucking sell this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell this thing and break hearts and mend them. I want to break and mend hearts.
Because it's also like, you're inspiring. You're like tough, funny, sexy, relatable, like baller, strong woman who also owns her sexuality, like loves pot, is a fun rascal, but also has a big soft heart. Like, and to all like the women out there, to inspire them that you can be all of that. And you can be, and that you can be smart. Like if people try to treat you like you're, like that you are all of that, and you are smart and strong, and you earn your own money, and you are fucking like, you're a mogul. Like you're, all of those things are true.
That was so beautiful.
It's true.
You left out one thing.
What?
I'm Brad Pitt's girlfriend. Thank you.
Oh my God. I love that for you. Thank you. I love that for you.
You were honestly a delight. And I take all that to heart. I appreciate that. Sometimes we have to hear it from other people, just to, when you're in certain places in your life, we need little reminders. And I honestly think like this episode will be a reminder for some people who need it, and also a tool to use when they might come into their life and find themselves in a place where the things that we've spoke about on this episode can be the magical tools that they need. So I thank you for that.
And you can be okay. You learn all about it in Little Miss Little Compton. Available worldwide, available on Kindle and audiobook. If you're like, I don't feel like reading it, maybe you should just get the audiobook.
You just get the audiobook, guys. Arden, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too. I'm thinking of you, and like, it may not be your best year ever, but you don't need to make it your worst.
You're a magical, magical human.
Thank you. You got this. I love you, boo.